Yeah? Who's louder? You, huh, Chief? Oh, you let one go there, huh, Charlie Char?
That's a lot of noise. Too many cows. That's like you're hungry, Chief. He's so hungry. He's so hungry. Okay, let me open it.
What's up, guys? Brad here from Piney Grove, and today I wanted to talk about something real quick before I get into my work for today. We got, I would say, 3, if not 5 comments on why are you putting so much time and money and effort into this pasture for these cows that you aren't even going to eat. And my response to that is everybody gets joy out of different things in life. And one of our plans here for Piney Grove, when we bought it 8 years ago, and we're right at the 8-year mark, everything you see in our videos was built from scratch. We may not have built it ourselves personally. We did build a lot of the stuff, but like the houses and the sheds, we had somebody do that. But a lot of the finishing works, definitely a lot of the dirt work and underground utilities and stuff we did. But our plan from the beginning, and it was down in our description, was we wanted to have a place that was full of love and excitement and miniature animals. And that's what these are. Now, they're not as many as we thought they are, or they would be. And I'll point you to a video down below of the breeder we got them from, because we didn't go there before we bought them. We thought we knew what a mini cow was, but there's 3 sizes of these Highlands. There's the full size. And if you want to see a full-size Highland, go over to Doss Farms and check out Chad Doss, and he has some of the most beautiful longhorns, but he also has a Highland female, a Highland cow called June, and she has a calf, or had a calf this year, and the calf's name is Blue. He raises his cows for beef. That's what, I mean, that's what his storyline is that he's raising cows. He loves them. He goes out there and they're not as tame as these because they're huge, but that's his primary purpose. And the same with many homesteaders out there is that they have their cattle for beef. Now, that's a full-size Highland. I guess it gets around 1,000 pounds or so. These are what's called Mini Highlands. So they're going to get 40 inches tall or so. They're going to get pretty big around, and they're going to run anywhere from 600 to 800 pounds. The father to both of these was a single bull, and he was around 800 pounds. Chief is coming over the camera, so if it moves, it's because Chief is headbutting it. That's exactly what he's doing. I'm trying to tell the people all about you and why you're not going to end up on the grill. Charlie, when you're trying to take a picture of her, will always come towards the camera. She's licking the other microphone. These are minis. They get up to around 800 pounds. Chief is the smallest mini Highland that they had on the property. So he has real stubby legs. You'll notice Charlie has a little bit longer legs. So he's a bull. So Chief is probably going to be smaller, at least shorter. Don't know how big around he'll be, but anywhere from 400 to 600 pounds. Charlie's a little taller, but she's a cow or a heifer, so she'll be less. And then there's the next size down, and that's what's called the micro minis. And these guys are 3 months old. Like I said, pushing around 100 pounds, but they're going to get a lot bigger. Highland cows have a very rich in iron, I think it is, beef, and very good tasting beef. But you don't buy mini or micro mini Highlands for beef. You can buy a cow or a calf to raise for beef for about $500. And I don't know what you'll have into it. You're going to have all the infrastructure that we have, and then plus you're going to have some way, depending on what climate you live in, to feed it all winter. It takes you about 18 months before you can take it to get processed, and it's going to yield a whole bunch of cuts of meat that you may not want to eat. Like when we eat beef, we eat ground chuck for burgers, and we eat ribeye steak. We don't eat anything else. So price-wise, $500 or so to get a calf to raise for processing, and then these run anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, and a lot of it has to do on whether you're going to breed them And are they, I think the right word is chronopositive or something, but basically does the bull have the dwarf gene so he can continue to make small cows? And if he does, then he's more expensive. And then when you get down to the micro minis, you're talking $18,000 to $40,000. So right there, just from a price perspective, your micro minis and your minis, you're not going to buy them as calves and raise them for beef production. So the only ones in the Highland breed you're going to do will be the larger ones. So we have the mid-sized ones, we have what's called the minis, and it is not our goal out here in Piney Grove to be 100% self-sufficient, 100% to raise, all of our food and to live 100% off the land. We got a garden. We're going to continue to expand our garden. We want to live and gain some nutrients and stuff from the land, but not via beef production. So the garden gives us a lot of vegetables. We freeze a lot of vegetables. We made our own spaghetti sauce, and we look forward to doing that more. These are not for beef. Like I said, we just don't eat a lot of beef, and this wouldn't be the type of cow that you would do that with. I'm a hunter. I've been hunting my whole life, and I don't mind, or I understand my place and animals' place in this world. Cows are raised, millions of them every year for beef production, but that's not what we want to do. We get joy out of having these cows, and the way that we spend our resources is making sure they have the best life ever. So all the money we're putting into this fencing, it's twofold. Number one, it's increasing the equity in the land. So it's not like it's a complete waste. It's probably not a 100% return on your investment, but given the way that people want to migrate to the country nowadays, it possibly could be a 100% investment on the infrastructure. By the time we're done with this will be a cow-ready operation. I mean, full-size cows as well, not just these. With our stalls and our fences, everything's being overbuilt. Second thing is, it's just a pure joy. When we come out of the house, they're usually sitting here. They're here all day. At night, they're inside where they're protected. We've got like 3 layers of protection. We've got Reolink cameras up there. We got lights. We got all sorts of things to protect our cows. So at night, they're protected. During the day, they're out here in this pasture. We went with sheep and goat fence, so it's real small squares, so predators would have to jump over the fence. So they're very well protected at night, but during the day, they're out here and grazing. We planted something called a tane rye in their 1 acre enclosure here, so that they'll always have green grass. We're here in Florida, so we have a more moderate climate. They'll always have green grass to eat, minimizing their hay if they even have to eat hay. But the joy that they bring us looking out the window and seeing our mini cows out here. And the one thing that Deb's not here at the moment, but the one thing that touches both of us is when they moo to us. And obviously they're mooing because they want something. They most likely want food, although they do love affection. They're very affectionate. You wouldn't believe how affectionate cows are. Charlie's the more flighty, Chief is the more chill, but you see during this whole video, I've been loving on them, and they've been coming up wanting love. But when they moo, it just touches your heart. They see you across the pasture. They see you across the property. If you come home, you've been out all day shopping or something, and you drive up, roll down your window, and usually, Chad Doss taught me this. He says, say, woo-wee cow. So I always use a high-pitched voice, and I'll be like, woo-wee cow. And they'll usually moo. And they'll moo at Deb because Deb is associated with food, especially with the bottles. She always is the one carrying the bottles. And she has a gentler voice, of course. They moo at her whenever they see her. So those little things bring us joy, having them, looking at them, hearing them moo. They have personalities. It's not like they ignore you like a cat. Like, these things will interact with you. I can run around the pasture. They'll chase me. They have fun playing with our dog, Bella. So that's why we do what we do for these cows. We want them to have their best life ever. We're not against people that process their animals and eat them, whether it's chickens or turkeys or cows or goats. But that's not what we want to do. That's why we have them. That's the story behind the story. Hopefully you guys are getting enjoyment out of watching them grow. 3 months into this, and I hear that they don't get full size until maybe the 3-year mark or something. So they're growing fast, but I guess at some point they're going to slow that growth down. So hopefully you're enjoying them. Hopefully enjoying watching our videos out here on Piney Grove. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Take care, guys.